Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video, as you can see, we have a new mini to do. I'm saying mini, this is by far the biggest mini I think I have done so far. This is another one of the Mythic Battles Pantheon minis, and it is Typhon. Couldn't remember his name then. My brain just completely shut down. As you know, or as you may have noticed, that when I've been doing minis remotely this size, I have a tendency of just doing washes to give them the effect. I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I'm going to actually paint rather than wash. So what have I got in mind? Let's have a think. As you may guess, I'm not going to attempt to put any cork on the base because there is enough there's enough of the base covered over without having to do that. The problem I'm going to find is trying to apply the base covering on this mini because of all the bodywork. This is one of those minis that's going to be a pain in the neck to do. I wonder if it's possible to be able to remove the mini from the base without breaking the base. I'm not going to try. I'll end up breaking something. I'm not going to try. I'll struggle through and try and get what I can do done. Let's get on with it, shall we? Hopefully with this one the camera won't decide to start slipping down like it did when I was doing Encephalus. Speaking of Encephalus, you haven't seen the finished products. Let me bring him in, shall we? Here he is. And here is Encephalus. The base is done. He's looking quite impressive. I quite like this fella. Yeah, I quite like that. There's the base. Again, using the Galeria gel and the Grell Earth paste from Citadel. A little bit of dead grass on there, and he's looking quite good. Anyway, there's the full view. I'm going to shift that out of the way because I don't know whether we're going to need this or not. We'll put it over there. Anyway, that's him done. We're not thinking of him now, we're thinking of this fella. He's not small, as you can see. Let's see if I can raise the camera higher and higher, and then hopefully we can get him all in. Still not, but there you go. It gives us a better chance of being able to show everything I'm doing. Let's get on with it. What am I going to do with him? I have the faintest idea. Let's go with the underside of the snake parts first of all. Best to go flesh. That's the one we're going to do. I'm going to have to adjust my way of thinking with this because usually I have my things down here, my pots down here showing you what I'm going to be doing. and you can see quite well. Unfortunately with this fella, with his with the camera being set so high, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing without it causing any issue. Look to give the Bestigo flesh a good shake, and then we can get some on the palette. We need quite a bit of this, and I'm not even going to attempt to get another brush because it's a very big area we're going to be doing with this, and I'm not worried about going over the other areas. We're just touching this part, or we're just making sure that the underside of the snake body is painted in this colour. As long as that's covered, I'm not worried about any other area, because we can always go over it again. And I'm going to shut up, play some music and get this on high speed so you can see exactly what we're doing, but a little bit faster than you would normally. Okay. Can we do, let's see, that's done, yep. How's that looking? And we'll just a little bit under there just to make it look as though that part's the same. I don't know whether it is or not. There we go. And we'll say that that's that. Next, the rest of the snake body. Now, we've done that bit in brown. I don't want to do the whole thing brown. I want to change colour slightly. And for that, I'm going to use shall I use that or shall I use this one? Let's see. I'll use this one. Castellan green. Hope you can see that. We're going to brighten it up later on, so don't worry if it looks a bit too dark now. It won't stay dark. Put quite a bit down and all over the main parts of the body. Trying to, we're not covering this what I'm assuming is her. I'm going over on the serpent scale areas, which includes going into the wings here we will be coming back and changing that slightly, and hopefully blending it in, as it were, so that there isn't a distinct shift or a distinct change of colour. We'll try to make sure that that goes in quite smoothly. So I've got a lot of this green put on the palette because there's a lot of this colour being used, and as it's such a large area, once again I'm going to shut up, get some music on in the background, and you can watch this in high speed, otherwise it's going to be a very long and boring video for you. So I'll be back with you when I've near enough finished painting all the green bits. So we are getting fairly close to the end of this. I'm going to change brushes now, and I've noticed something that I hadn't realised until I started painting, which was that it seems to go from scales into fur into leathery wings. So these look like, the top part of his body looks like fur. So I'm going to have to change tack, or change my plan on what I was doing with this. But first off, I am going to have to change brushes to get into certain areas of this. So I'm going to carry on with the dark green for the time being. And once again, shut up and let the music carry on and speed up this, because using a smaller brush, as I said last time, or when I was doing the brown parts, using the smaller brush is a longer process, but I need it for the detail, or for getting into the details. So again, as I say, I'm going to shut up and let you listen to some music while I do this. trying to make sure now that I've got everywhere that I want green to be green. I am going to be doing a little more detailed work with this because I want the very edges of the finger here to be this colour as well. I don't want them to be brown. So I'm just going to quickly, obviously not too quickly, go over the edges, and with a small brush you can do this quite easily without any fuss. Just wipe over and it's as simple as that. The brush does the work for you. You don't need to stress out. So all you need to do is just pick the area you want, and it's just a couple of strokes and that will do the job. But it's just picking out the ones that you want to do in this colour. Some of them will be bigger than others, as you may have noticed. Anyway, and it gives a nice definition, an actual division line. For what you're trying to look. And I know what I'm trying to say. I'm not sure if I'm getting this across properly or not, but if you have it like this, when you look, you can see how one area goes into another, and it looks much more pleasing than if you just have it so that the underside is one colour and the upper side is a different colour. A little bit of difference in how it's painted, because if you look, these edge scales are one colour and the plates on the underneath are a different colour. You're just trying to differentiate between the two, and if you have it so that the underside of these scales aren't as strong as the upper side, and you see some of that underside colour showing through, it makes all the difference as well. It doesn't have to be perfect match to the upper side scales. But if it's got a little mix of the two colours in, you put it on slightly watery, and you can see the underside colour coming through it. Then it gives it that little extra level of detail. Missed a couple of bits here, and oh yeah, most of it's done now. It's just a case of finishing off these little details. Now, with me not washing this, there's going to be a lot more in the line of highlighting to do, as you may have gathered. And obviously I'm going to do it the same way as I did the other minis in this particular range, or the other Typhons, and that is a case of whatchamacallit, just going through, painting the whole mini as if it was one video, and then editing the video down to bite-sized chunks, as it were. Now I'm just looking now to see if I've got everywhere. I haven't. I've missed some with the best to go flesh. I think I've got mostly everything with the green, except that bit there. And a few areas of the best to go flesh that I need to touch up on, which isn't a problem. I can do that now. I'm just going to wash and dry my brush out from the green, and then go back into the best to go flesh, and where I can see it needs it, just go over. Some areas will not cover as well as others, and we really want that colour to be there. But it doesn't have to be a strong solid colour. If it looks a little bit patchy, it's fine, because it gives that level of gives that look that it's been obviously scraped along the ground. With it being a serpent, it wouldn't be lovely and clean. How's that looking? Oops, missed a little bit underneath there, which probably isn't going to be seen once I've glued the base down, but I can see it now, so I'm doing it. And make sure that any areas I've gone over in this with the green that I cover up. Missed a little bit in some of these creases completely. Just go over that, and that should be it for that colour. Next,